Hey, Sooner football fans. This is your Sooner Football Fans podcast. Today we have Sooner fan Scotty Stevens from Los Angeles, California. Scotty tells us what it's like to be a Sooner fan in Los Angeles and shares some great stories about getting to see the Sooner sports live in California. Also, Rob and Scotty grew up together in Oklahoma, so we get to hear about their shenanigans growing up in a small town. Sooner football fans is not associated with the University of Oklahoma, but we do have eligibility left. Boomer. Hey, Sooner football fans. You got Terry and Rob here. Boomer Rob.
Boomer Terry.
And all the way from Los Angeles, California, we have Sooner fan and friend of Rob Mixon's, Scotty Stevens. Boomer, Scotty.
Boomer Terry. Boomer Rob.
Boomer, buddy.
So, how's it going out there, bud?
Other than being in California, I'm doing all right.
Have you had to pistol whip anybody today?
Not today, but it's my last day of vacation. I'll start back tomorrow.
Okay.
So let's clarify that question from Rob. Now you're a watch commander, is that right? With the Los Angeles Police Department?
Yeah, I'm a sergeant. It's a sergeant too. I'm a watch commander. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so I yell at people, tell them where to go, what to do. That's about it.
So, hey, I'd like to point out, back-to-back years named California Police Officer of the Year.
Oh, really?
That was when I was still being a police officer. Now I sit behind the desk.
No.
No, right, twice? Was it twice or was it more than that, Scotty?
What's that?
It was back-to-back years, right?
Well, it was back-to-back for sergeant and I back-to-back for police officer.
Oh.
And then I had 1 year of gang officer of the year.
Nice.
Dang.
Yeah, I didn't mean to leave that out. I mean, geez.
Now I will share a story that when
here we go.
I met Scotty this past year up at the Rose Bowl game at the Rose Bowl Bash downtown. And the first thing, you guys came up and Rob and the boys, come walking up. And the only thing that Michael and Casey could talk about is how you scared the living crap out of them, taking them through, I guess, the better part of Los Angeles.
Yeah. Odd part is, Skid Row is about as good as you get in LA. Well, I thought if we're going to go to the Rose Bowl Bash, that might as well take the long way around, and it was like watching like Walking Dead, kind of live.
That's about explaining it. Yep. And my boys have never seen anything like that.
Yeah, they're just standing in the middle of the street, kind of just staring at you. You're honking your horn at them, and they just fall down.
They were thoroughly impressed, and I'm pretty sure Michael had to go change his underwear, before he came out to the deal, because for I know for 15 minutes he stood right there and just rattled to me for all about what y'all saw.
It wasn't pretty. I think I need therapy. See my eye twitching.
Well, I think I could have probably dropped Michael off and let him have a conversation with a couple of them at one point. He was really interested in these guys, and one of them, he was yelling at him. I don't know what he was yelling at the guy, but the guy started charging toward the car, and I had to take off going westbound.
Yeah, Michael loved the kid to death, but he's definitely. Oh, how do I put it delicately?
He marches to a different tune.
Yeah, a pancake short of a stack. He is Michael, and that's why we love him.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
Tell us what it's like being a Sooner fan out in LA. Is there a lot of you guys out there, or do you pretty much hang out on your own?
There's more than I really realized until probably about 10 years or so ago. And before then, you had to live USC this and UCLA that and UCLA this and USC that. And out here, they have a name for Josh Rosen. They call him Chosen Rosen.
Oh Lord,
was his name? He was going to be the savior of the NFL draft. With quarterbacks, he was going to take the NFL to a new level, so they called him Chosen. Yeah. So, but then I have a buddy that I worked gangs with here since I started, so it's been about 25 years. and he's from Oklahoma, and he works the SWAT team here now. So it was just me and him for a long, long, long time. And then we met a guy who is a friend of ours now, and he's actually a deputy mayor up in L.A., and he's an alumni. He graduated in 78, I think it is. And he introduced us to a whole club of them. So they have a place up in Hollywood. They get together for all the games on a Saturday. There's 113 taps.
Holy
beer. Yeah. And if you want to put a bunch of Okies in the middle of in Los Angeles, go 113 taps and see what happens.
Holy cow. Listen, I'm coming.
Yeah.
If Sandra Bullock's there, I'm on my way, okay?
That might be worth the trip just to go out there, and experience that instead of going to a game. Yeah, guys trip.
So we're planning on going to Kansas City for a couple of games. We may have to just bypass that and come up and watch the, the L.A. Dodgers, because that's just right around the corner from your house, right?
Yeah, it wouldn't take you very long, Rob. I mean, would you 107 miles an hour through Arizona? It shouldn't take you very long to...
Hey, I slowed down. That ticket was only for 96. This time I'm flying. I'm not driving through Arizona. They hate me there. Or, wait a minute. I think I hate them there.
Yeah. But it's running around with your own kind of crew. It makes you don't have to put up with much. There's a couple of Longhorns out here, and I've been communicating with them the last couple of days. I forwarded the article about their masculinity thing and at YouTube. Like, not only do you have to wear like super brown jerseys, now you have to put up with this too, you poor bastard.
Can you say that on the podcast? I don't know.
Yeah, that's the only in Austin, I guess. Hopefully Oklahoma doesn't chime in on that masculinity. This generation, what have we raised?
Oh my God. Yeah, but being in LA, it's kind of a transient kind of, I don't mean transient like, crackhead sleeping on the street transient. I mean, like, people visit it all the time. So I run into Sooners fans all the time while I'm here. And when they come out here to play, they travel as good as anybody in the country, and maybe even better. I've seen them at the Rose Bowl now twice. I've seen them at the Holiday Bowl. I've seen them in the Fiesta Bowl in Phoenix when we went out there for that, and they travel as good as anybody. A parking lot full of, RVs, and so we see a lot of them out here. So it's other than having to put up with the, University of South Central and UCLA, you don't have to. Yeah.
So one of the things I like about Scotty is whatever team's playing out there in California, whether it's a softball team, whether it's the baseball team or the football team, he takes his little girl and they go to the game. And she's a die-hard.
Oh, really?
I send her stuff, cups and whatnot all the time. And, she loves them, I think.
Oh, she's got as much OU gear as I do. She's 11, and she's all about OU. She's already asked me last week, Dad, when we scout in schools? I'm like,
she's like 6'1".
Oh, really?
She's 11.
I said, well, you said you want to go to OU. Why do you need to scout school? She goes, well, we can keep scouting OU. I'm like, okay, I guess we'll just keep going back to
OU. There you go. She just wants to come to, you can make I think we got 6 home games next year. So just 7 home games. So there you go. 7 reasons, plus bringing her. There you go. You've got all the reasons in the world.
She's proof even in 2018, you can still raise them right. So.
True. But so how often do the teams go out there? I mean, fairly often. Do you get to go catch baseball, softball, basketball?
Yeah, every year I get to catch at least one. So the girls come out every year and play here at Fullerton next door. So we usually go to the whole tournament. They have autograph sessions afterwards. So my daughter likes to go down there and have her picture taken with the players. And
so last year, I think it was, Scotty, wasn't it, that I sent Aaron, his daughter, a ball that I had picked up at the stadium here, and had Patty sign it, and then I sent it to her, and the team came out. I think did she have her sign it again, or with some of the players, or?
Yeah, she had. Paige Parker signed it. Paige Lowry signed it. Let's see. Patty Grasso's son signed it, and there are a couple other players. Knighton signed it, so yeah, she got 5 or 6 good signatures off of it. She was happy with it. She's smaller than half of them, though.
Now, I need to ask you a question because Rob, we had it on last week when we were doing podcasts last week. We had it on, and I like to not got Rob to stop watching it. Did you catch the beach volleyball national championships in Malibu last week?
Live or on TV?
Live or on TV, because Rob was on. I asked him, "What do you want to watch while we're doing this?" And he was like, "Well, beach volleyball." And he sat here like a zombie for the next hour.
Yeah, I did. Well, I was a little disappointed. I thought it was going to be, they were wearing the shorts and the, I was a little disappointed.
It wasn't Olympic volleyball, was it?
No, not by any
Terry said the same thing. Why are they wearing shirts? I'm like, I don't know. You mean call them out and take it off? I don't know why they're wearing shirts, Terry.
Yeah, that doesn't mean I wasn't switching it back between the Texas Rangers and the beach volleyball. But
we're getting slaughtered by the Houston Astros right now. By the way,
yeah, of course they are. Yeah.
But so, what are you looking forward to this season? Well, I mean, is there anything that jumps out to you scheduling wise, or what are you looking forward to seeing out of our team this year?
I think the transition to quarterback is kind of what I'm curious to see, because with it kind of still being up in the air, but I think that if he stays, we keep our quarterback and he stays and doesn't go to Major League Baseball, I think he's way underestimated. I think, he is smaller framed, but I think, the spin he puts on the ball and his power, I don't think people really understand how athletic he really is. I mean, people talked about last year with, losing D.D. Westbrook and Samaje Perine, and, Oklahoma's going to finish 3rd in the Big 12 or 4th in the Big 12. They lost all their weapons, and what did Baker Mayfield do but turn around and find 12 other targets to throw the ball to? So I think he can do the same thing. I think Kyler Murray's as gifted athletically as anybody in college football, even though he doesn't have the the height and the size of a quarterback. But I think he can do special things on the field.
He can definitely run. I mean, I know that.
Yeah, he can do that. Yeah,
he can also hit the baseball pretty well.
We won't have a problem of worrying about somebody catching him if he ever gets out in the open. I mean,
I think, I don't think he gets loose from one guy and you can pretty much gripe it at that point. He's gone.
Mm-hmm,
so,
but
I think, and then I guess, but then with the draft, I think it's just. I mean, this guy, it's a tough decision to make. I read another article yesterday. They moved him up to 34th, which, the MLB's, collective bargaining says that he's due at least $1.9 million in a signing bonus.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and that's just a signing bonus.
No,
I mean, that's a big decision for a 20-something-year-old to make.
Yeah.
So,
well, it wouldn't have been if I was 20 years old.
Yeah, right.
That's a long decision.
All right.
It'd have been done. Bye. See ya. Mm-hmm. But here's our friends at the Prairie Report. They have a blog and they also do a podcast. He apparently knows people and that's done some Major League Baseball. Was a baseball player. He says that he's not ready. That Kyler Murray is not ready, and no GM is going to approve signing that kid that high up. And and if they do, anybody that tells him to take it and run is giving him bad advice, because there's thousands of kids that do that and they end up never getting out of the minors.
Oh no, you're absolutely right, and I think that, and you got to assume that they've had that conversation with the coach as well too. So
yeah,
I don't know, 2 for 3 today with a home run, a double, and 5 RBIs.
Yeah. And my whole deal is this. I mean, I don't know the kid. We don't know him personally, but Rob brought up the point last week. We don't know if his parents have money. 1.9 million, 1.5 million. How do you walk away from that?
500,000.
Yeah, and I mean there always is. There's somebody in his ear. There's always going to be somebody, the little devil on his shoulder, telling him, take the money and run, or it's a lot what happened to Marcus Dupree.
Oh yeah.
I mean, he had all the people from back home barking at him, "Hey, you got to get yours while you can," and it pretty much sank his college career.
Yeah.
So you just got to hope that he's got somebody level-headed, helping him make those decisions.
Yeah.
And either way, I mean, if he goes, I got faith in Kendall Austin. I think that with some more snaps, I mean, we might not be able to get it done this year, but I haven't seen anything bad come out of the kid yet. So
no, I mean, he looked good in the spring game. He was actually more mobile than I thought he was. So
yeah, and he's a lot bigger than you see him next to his lineman. He's a lot larger than I realized he really is.
Yeah, he's a big kid. So
yeah,
I think everybody's hanging their hat on Murray, and rightfully so. I mean, everybody think he's the heir apparent, but this baseball thing being thrown in the mix. A lot of experts are saying that, but then these are the same guys who experts in the NFL draft who said
exactly.
I'll eat a pile of crap if Baker Mayfield's the number one pick. Which by the way, he did that yesterday.
Oh, he did.
Yeah,
and we missed it.
Yeah.
I agree with you, and I sent Robert a text last night about looking at an article where the people who do the analytics, and I'm not an analytics guy, numbers give me a headache.
Yeah, me too.
But if you do the analytics and you tell me what they mean, that's all I really need to hear out of analytics. But they had a show where they talked about all the analytics, where it's pocket passing and passing on the move, accuracy, velocity, putting the ball through small windows. And when the owners and the GMs got a hold of this prior to the draft, every single category, minus the velocity, Baker Mayfield smoked everybody.
Oh, yeah.
That's basically what it said. And nobody else do that. You can listen to, Herb Street and, all those other guys out there, the so-called experts, and, he doesn't have the hype and all that stuff, but the analytics speak for itself.
Absolutely.
I mean, once they tell you that there's nobody in college football better at quarterback than Baker Mayfield. I mean, teams now, they've drafted their people. They'll tell you now, no, we got who we wanted. That's a lie. Because I'll guarantee you, if he would have been on there when the Jets came up, Jets would have took him.
Oh, yeah.
Next team up, they're taking.
Yeah. And
oh yeah, I guarantee they would have traded up. Patriots would have gave up some picks next year to get him if they could.
But him just coming out and saying he's the best is not good TV. It's not good for the rating.
Oh yeah.
They
need to talk about his hype, and they need to talk about his character, and they need to get their ratings that way, because they want. I just get the sense everybody wants him to fail. I mean, because he's not your typical quarterback, and of course he's not in the SEC, so we gotta. The ESPN's not going to want to hear him say, he's going to be the best. So, I mean, they talk about his hype and his character, and finally, the day of the draft, Troy Aikman got on. He's like, "Look, guys, enough with the hype. It doesn't matter. He'll be just fine in the NFL." And, the character issue, kid's 20-something years old, man. It's not like nobody's ran from the police. Rob we ran from the police, and I'm a cop.
I never did. I cannot confirm or deny.
Okay, wait. Let me rephrase that. Robert ran from the police. I was a passenger.
Confirm nor deny.
But see,
there's a statute of limitations, Robert. It's over, so don't worry about it.
But here's the deal. Here's the deal with that. There was really no character question. Okay,
no.
He made a bad decision. He was of drinking age. Okay, so it wasn't like he was doing something illegal. You know what I mean? He wouldn't shut up when the police officers told him to shut up. Which how many drunk guys do? That's bottom line. They kept telling him to shut up. You keep talking, we're going to arrest you. And they started talking again, and he and they were going to arrest him. I mean, where is that a character? What 21, 22-year-old kid being in the same situation may not have done the same thing? How is that a character issue?
Yeah, and in this day and age, have you seen the problems with some of these programs and the kids they've got?
Oh yeah,
or with the professional athletes. So, you can carry a gun and shoot yourself in the leg in a club. And it's not a character issue. You know, you can break into somebody's house and steal their computer. That's not a character issue, but you run from the police when you're drunk and, you know.
You got a bad
It was the face. Yeah, you got caught on video. You're the face of a university. That's the whole big thing.
Right. You know, you grabbed your crotch and against Kansas. And the
only thing wrong with that is he got on TV doing it.
Yeah, exactly.
There's a lot worse things to go on the side of a football field.
I promise you.
Yeah.
So the only thing wrong with speeding in Arizona is getting caught.
Yeah. Exactly. I didn't get caught speeding in Arizona, Rob. So
well, you're not speeding unless you get caught. That's what I'm always told.
But, you know, but again, the whole thing is Baker Mayfield's the best quarterback in college football, should be the number one pick, was not exciting news. It wasn't a grabber. So everybody had to try to talk about his character. Can anybody anywhere in the United States, Oklahoma, California, Alaska, Hawaii, say anything else that Baker Mayfield has done that was questionable other than those two things? So why did he have a character issue?
Well, no, because the one thing he do that the others don't is he gives you wins.
Yeah.
That's what he does. None of the other three quarterbacks can tell you that. I mean, Josh Allen's got a hell of a ball. He can throw the ball a long way. But against the top tier conferences, he's got a horrible record. So, I mean, the Baker Mayfield wins. That's all he does.
Yeah. So,
I think Cleveland's happy.
Yeah. You know, but you know, we'll see. I hate to say it like this. We've talked about it a lot. You know, I would love to see him. You know, I'm a Steelers fan, so I really don't want to see him turn it around. But it's going to take more than Baker Mayfield to turn around the Cleveland Browns. Okay, I mean, they got more problems than a number one draft pick, Heisman Trophy quarterback.
Yeah, I think they got an ownership problem, is what they've got.
Yeah,
I think that. I mean, no, new GM, new offensive coordinator. He came over from Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
Now, what I see about that is Ben Roethlisberger throws out of the shotgun all the time, so it's not going to be anything different for Todd Haley to see somebody, in the shotgun and run an offense that way. But I think you're right. I think it's going to take more, but I don't think you'll see Baker Mayfield right out of the chute. I'd be surprised if you did, only for political job salvation. You've got to have some sort of plausible deniability in the end, because if you play him week one and they continue to suck, or he gets hurt, and all of a sudden now you're looking for a job again, and you've been a GM 1 year, they're going to want to say, well, look, we didn't play him until week 6, but this is why. And try to save themselves another year. But I think we'll see him this year. I just don't. I don't think it'll be week 4, week 5, maybe.
Yeah, and I don't think he's good enough to foster a 6-win season for him. It's they were 0 and however many games they play in the NFL now.
Listen, I am not betting against that kid. Until it's over. Okay,
but. It's I know what I know what you're saying, Rob, but still, I mean, he's a competitor, and
it's the Cleveland Browns.
It's the Cleveland freaking Browns,
right?
Right.
No, I agree.
Exactly. And and defenses. I mean, defense was really never their problem. It was turnovers and offensive production. I mean, but then you've got 2 wide receivers. One of them with a problem in college, it could stay out of trouble, and the other one's been out of the league for 2 years. So really, you're relying heavily on a rookie running back and a rookie quarterback. I mean, if receivers can stay out of trouble and actually focus on football, you might be okay. You can salvage a couple of wins and start building something. But I mean, I don't know. I worry more about my receiving core than I do anything else with the Cleveland Browns.
Yeah, but like I said, he can do great. I say this all the time. He can do great all year long, except for 2 games. That's all I care about when he straps it up against the Steelers.
Yeah, I'm rooting for him. I mean, because everybody wants to see him fail, man. And all I want to do is one more time, Baker Mayfield, prove him wrong again. Quit telling me that I can't. Watch this, and finally, maybe people would just shut up and accept the fact that that's what he does.
Yeah, So that's true. But what about the defense next year? Do you have faith that we're going to have a top 45, top 35 defense this year to go along with our number one offense?
I think we better, or it's really Mike Stoops' last hurrah as far as University goes. I mean, really, people have been screaming for Mike Stoops to be replaced for a couple of years now, and last year was just horrid. I mean, I went to the Rose Bowl, and two and a half of the greatest quarters of football I've ever witnessed live, and a quarter and a half of the most miserable football that I've ever witnessed in my life. But I mean, I think it has to. But they've certainly recruited recently for that. But how many times can you keep recruiting for it without seeing results?
Yeah.
I mean, when you're going, I mean, when you're smashing West Virginia, but you've got to. I mean, West Virginia is a good team, but West Virginia shouldn't be putting up those kind of numbers on Oklahoma. I mean, I go back and I talk. Oklahoma's we've always had a good offense, but defense. I was watching YouTube the other day, and back in the era with the Selman brothers and all that, they were murdering folks.
Yeah,
I mean, Oklahoma's defense, they were the meanest kids on that, and that's what you did. You smashed them on offense, and you kicked them in the face on defense, and that's what Oklahoma was known for. And I'm all for, a good, solid offense, but good God, man, you can't eventually, just like what happened with Iowa, you're going to run out of time on the clock with Iowa State, and you can keep trying to just outscore people, but eventually the clock's going to hit zero and you're going to lose eventually.
Yeah. And seeing that's what you just touched on, what me and Rob have, said, probably 1,000 times, we've relied on our offense to outscore people. Let me have the ball last. And we did against Iowa State and didn't have enough time to finish it off,
and Oklahoma's known that too. That's why we've always deferred the kickoff.
Yeah.
we always defer the kickoff because we want the ball in the second half because we need to score and get out in front of people. So it's, that's just telling me that Oklahoma's even identified that there's a big gap somewhere in our defense that we need to be that needs to be fixed. But I mean, we've certainly recruited for it the last couple of years, but it's now you've got to start seeing results.
All right.
I know in the fourth quarter of the Rose Bowl, there was a big gap in the middle, and then there was a big gap around the side, and there was a big gap around the other side.
A big gap, yeah. There was a big gap on that weak side, and he ran right through the middle of it.
And the last couple of years, and especially not 2007, but 2016. But in other, we saw it in that game. We saw it in the Kansas State game last year. There's a lot of teams, they just figured out if we run right at Oklahoma, they can't do anything to us. Kansas State last year, they ran quarterback keeper up the middle. Okay, that's a fourth grade call. Quarterback keeper up the middle on one, 797,000 times, and he just ran all over us. And it was like, if you run straight at us, we're not going to tackle you.
Well, you're going to have more success running a defense like Oklahoma if you run right at them, because we're really built for speed to get out on the edges and shut that edge stuff down. So we're not, and typically in the last 10 years, we've not been that tough up the middle. But I think this next year, we're not going to have to worry about that middle as much.
Yeah. And plus
I hope so.
Yeah. We've been dropping 3 guys on the line and, dropping everybody else.
Don't make me mad while I'm on it. But I mean, like when you're talking about Kansas State, you can't do that to Kansas State. I mean, Bill Snyder, he started coaching with Moses.
Hey Moses, you take them linebackers.
That man has seen every single defense that you can throw at somebody, and the man. There's a reason the stadium's named after him.
Yep. And they won't let him retire.
It's Kansas State's those sneaky good guys. I mean, the talent's not always going to be the level that it is, at other schools. But the Snyder coaching you, that's a problem. And the same thing last year. I swear, watching that game, we're going to get beat by Kansas freaking State.
No,
Kansas State. It's just shameful.
Yeah, but hopefully we filled in those gaps, because we've said it all along. If we're a top 50, top 30 defense, we win the national championship last year. without a doubt.
Yeah.
Georgia doesn't.
We only needed to be that for a quarter and a half last year. We'd have been the national champions.
Yeah. We needed one freaking stop in the fourth quarter with 5.
Or the lack of an onside kick that would have helped too.
Yeah, but okay. So we've covered all that. Now let's tell us a little bit more about this situation with Rob and the what's it. The running from the police. What?
Let me be more
specific. Time for today.
Or first off, is this the best story, or is it the only one you can tell?
This is one of them. But let me clarify.
Thanks,
Rob
Scotty.
never took off on foot running from the police.
Oh no. No! If you see me running on foot, something bad, really bad, is going to happen.
And we always kind of push the edge with that because the small town we lived in, growing up, and everybody knew everybody. Our parents went to school with the cops.
Yeah.
But there for a short while we were in high school, there were a couple of new guys came in from other towns, and they were police officers. So Leon, Robert's dad, had, somehow Robert gets a hold of one of the cars that his dad and his dad's friend had put together. What year was that Nova, Rob? Like a 74?
Something like that.
Yeah, it was a 1974 Chevy Nova. Ugliest paint job you've ever seen. More colors on that thing than a rainbow. But it was metallic and it was shiny, and in the 80s, that was cool, right?
And it
but
would
the
run.
engine in that, but the engine in that thing is not something you wanted Robert to be sitting behind, because Robert also had a 280 ZX with like a 4-cylinder engine, and somehow Rob could get that thing to do about 180, and I don't know how he did. So we're driving around one day, and Rob's trying to show off this car, and it's all nice and shiny, and we get to a corner. Rob goes, "Let's see what this puppy can do." So he pulls out in the intersection, and as soon as he turns hard left because he's going to do donuts in the middle of the intersection, we look over to the left, and there's a police car parked at the stoplight. We're like, oh, but Rob doesn't stop. Rob doesn't go, oh. You would think Rob would go, oh, sorry, my foot got stuck on the gas pedal. No, not Rob. Rob completes 2 full donuts in the middle of the intersection and then takes off shooting down the street. Now, the engine in this car was no joke. It was, by the time we turned the corner and Rob hit the gas, we were 4 blocks ahead before he knew what happened. But the problem is Robert ditches into an alley, and we try to pull him behind a house that belonged to Rob's cousin. We thought that the dust was coming up through the alley. So cop he just follows the dust around, and me and Robert we're sitting here on the front porch, and he comes up and Rob's like, "What are you talking about? The worst liar in the world." But we tried to hide it, but it was Rob. That was Rob's first evading caper from the police.
No, you say first, so I'm guessing there was other ones.
No.
No.
The one with the Datsun, we got that stuck in a ditch, but I think we were like, we were trying to chase a tornado, but at the same time, the police were like trying to tell us to go away, and Rob slammed it into a ditch. I remember that one. But
Well, my best friend. I grew up in McAllister. My best friend, my other parents, our best family friends, were the Pecchios. And Charlie Pecchio, he had 4-door dually pickup trucks back in the 80s before there were 4-door I even knew there were 4-door pickup trucks. And Charlie knew only one way to drive. Okay. And that was as fast as you can all the time. And there was nothing for him to have the speedometer all the way back around to 0 and it bouncing off of the peg. Okay, driving down 69 highway, and we were driving. He was taking me and my dad. Me and my brothers boxed, and we were going to a boxing tournament. And Charlie was going with us, and his boy, his son Richard. And we were going through Eufaula. And I don't know if you've been on 69 highway through Eufaula. There's 2 big hills there. Okay. Well, coming over the second hill, Charlie has got this thing pegged. Okay, I'm telling you, we're just flying. And on the other side, Highway Patrolman goes by. Okay, on the other side, and Charlie, he's a good guy, deacon at the church and everything. Charlie goes, whoop, got caught, and he pulled over right on the other side of that hill. Okay, and he's waiting on the Highway Patrolman to come. About 30 seconds later, this Highway Patrolman comes screaming past and almost stands his car up on the front wheels because he wasn't expecting Charlie to be stopped on the other side of the hill. So he's coming, running full bore, and is like almost wrecks trying to stop. Stops a quarter of a mile, finally gets off the road and backs up, and he gets out of the trooper car laughing, going, "Man, I'd have thought you would have been in Shakota by now." And Charlie's like, "Hey, I knew you had me, so I just played." But just watching that car come over, and I guarantee you, he was moving and just laid it on there to try to stop. And Charlie gets out. He gave him a ticket, and Charlie was like, "Okay, doke, thanks a lot." Did it slow him down? Nope.
Yeah, I think the smartest thing that they ever did when we were growing up, because I spent a lot of my time with Robert and his family, is give Rob that Ford Fiesta. Because he didn't need anything more than there is no.
They didn't think I could holler at it.
No, because everything Robert had, it always had like the largest engine you could put into that car. It always had, and finally I think they said, you know what, a little 2-cylinder Ford Fiesta right there. Just pull the cord in the back of it and start it, and then just give him that one.
So that's what you ended up with, was a Fiesta.
That just for a short amount of time. One time me and Scotty were headed to a basketball game in another small town down by where we live, and there's just a long flat place there. I mean, you can really get some speed up, and I don't know how fast we were going, Scotty. It was a lot. I mean, it
was. I think, was that in the Camaro or the Z?
It was a Camaro, that red Camaro.
Yeah,
and it was triple figures. I mean, we were buck and a quarter or something, and a skunk the size of I'm not kidding, the size of a bloodhound. I mean, just right. There's nowhere to go. So we didn't get airborne or anything. But when
that was a trophy skunk.
Yeah. Oh my God! Well, after that, it was more of a painting on the road. But, but when we got to that gym and we walked in, it's like everybody in the gym turned and looked right at us, like, "Oh my God!" We didn't even, I mean, we knew we still smelled skunk, but we didn't know
it was on you.
Oh Lord, it was horrible. People had to ask us.
No, you know why? I remember what we did is we thought we were going to be smart, and Robert had one of those big Costco-sized bottles of Polo.
It doesn't cover skunk, by the way.
Yeah, we all put that on there like we were, going out to a nightclub, and that with the skunk smell, man. And as soon as we walked in the door, everybody, including the players, turned around and looked at us.
Yeah, I think the ref puked on us. But,
so basically, you all smelled like a skunk wearing polo, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
But anything else you guys want to cover? Any other damning stories?
That's plenty.
I think as far as Robert goes,
I think I need to return a few on Scotty, because he was not the angel you think he was.
Look, most of the time, Robert got in trouble. Leon would come ask me while I was reading the Bible in the living room. I was like, "Look, Leon."
Yeah. So my dad was my dad was highly into that capital punishment.
Oh yeah,
yeah. So I got wore out, and Scotty didn't. So
yeah, he come got me one time and tried to ask me questions, and I was in the middle of my prayers.
Scotty was that kid that was like, "Man, we can't do that," and Scotty would go, "Here, hold my Coke and watch this."
Yeah,
there was nothing that he wouldn't do. I'm telling you, hey, you want to go jump off the building? Okay. And then he'd be like, "Come on, Robert, you're chicken if you don't." So here we are jumping off in this building onto this car, or whatever it is that we're doing.
So he's blaming all this on you.
Yeah.
You hear that? You hear this, Scott?
Yeah. Well, you know what? I'll see you guys. I'll see you in August when I come out there, and then we'll just go back with you, and I'll tell you the truth.
So I wore a baseball cap to hide my halo back then. That's what was going on, Scotty.
Yeah. All right. Well, hey, Scotty, thanks a lot for joining us, and we'll do it again. Hey. Hopefully, when you get down here in August, we'll do one, and you can we'll throw back a few and just learn all about the deep dark secrets of Rob Nixon.
You know them all. That's it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for having me on, man. It's been fun. I appreciate it.
All right. Well, Boomer up.
Boomer Terry.
Boomer Scotty.
Boomer Terry. Boomer Rob. See you in August.
Thanks for listening to the Sooner Football Fans Podcast. If you want to be on the podcast and talk Sooner football with us, go to www.soonerfootballfans.com. Click on the How to Be on the Podcast tab, fill out the form, and we'll get you on. Boomer.